20 years. A lot can happen in 20 years. Sometimes that's how long it takes me to cross something off of my gaming backlog. And it just so happens around the time I finished Halo 2 is right when it hit its 20th anniversary. Around this time, gamers across the globe were trying to get a hit of that nostalgia by returning to Master Chief's low poly footsteps, and I was walking in them for the first time. Not counting the time I played Halo 1, that is. I played and reviewed Halo 1 my first year of doing YouTube content. So if you want to watch a video where I look like a 15-year-old and I have the speech skills of somebody even younger than that, you can go and watch that video. But to summarize the cringe for you, I didn't grow up with Halo. I did have an Xbox by happenstance, but I played like Fable and fucking Lego Star Wars. Like, I only had so many games and I prioritized the systems I liked more. I know that might be blasphemy for kids these days who have museums of digital games to sift through, but for me, that wasn't the case. I do have like a vague memory of my babysitter and his friend playing Halo 2 with me and my brother. I didn't even know we were playing a game called Halo. I just remember watching Red vs. Blue many years later, and I had like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast back to Blood Gulch. And when I finally did pop in Halo for the first time, it wasn't my jam. You could tell I'm probably not a first-person shooter guy by the fact that it took me 20 years to play Halo 2. I had no nostalgia for that game whatsoever, and I don't really trust opinions of a version of myself from that long ago. But I do remember some things about the game. I remember, like, the enemies were very boring and repeating a lot of the time. The levels, the designs of them were repeating a lot of the time. I remember being frustrated with the checkpoint systems, probably just because I wasn't that good at it. But I remember dying a bunch, and then I'd have to run it back 20-30 minutes, die again, run it back 20-30 minutes. And that's actually the first time I played Halo 1. I got all the way to the end of the game, and then it was like I had to run it back another 30 minutes, and I was like, no, I am done. I dropped the game for like an entire year before my buddy, he was into Halo, and he's like, oh no, we're gonna play all the games together. We only ended up playing Halo 1 together, but he and I played all of Halo 1 in a single sitting in a very long night. And I love that memory, despite I knew I didn't really love the game. Even the second time around in a co-op mode, it still was just mid. I gave it a 5 out of 10. It was the definition of mid for me. And I got a lot of flack for that review, mostly just from my wife. She was a big Halo fan. She has Halo in her gamer tag. That's how big she is on Halo. I think she's seen like 4 of my videos ever, and one of them is just me shitting on her favorite game, and she won't let me live that down. And do you know how many people love Halo? Do you know how many? Dude bros have this game linked to their gaming neural system. Crapping on Halo might as well be crapping on every millennial's childhood teddy bears. But my wife would bring it up every so often. She said we could play co-op. I was very much interested in that, so we tried out Halo 2. So there we were playing the Master Chief Collecting. We're running and gunning, and she's dropping the lore. That keeps going over my head. We're flying around on Banshees. We're having a blast. And then we dropped it, and then 2 years went by. Fuck you. Yeah, my wife and I don't play a whole lot of games together. We have very different styles of video game, and our schedules aren't great, and we have a son. Makes things difficult. It's not great. But sometimes the stars align and we give it another college try. That's right, we pulled out our dusty copy of the Master Chief Collection and we popped it in again. Our needlers ran mission after mission. Master Chief is throwing bombs in space. I remember there was a big tentacle monster that I learned about, and then we dropped it again. 4 more years go by. Fuck you. Okay, my wife and I were just not gonna play these games together. It is what it is. So there I stood, assuming I'm never gonna play a Halo game at this point. And my wife, she has cooled off the franchise for the past couple entries. She has not as interested in getting back into the games. So after her disappointment of the past couple games, I didn't know if she would either. It was slowly becoming a franchise lost in time until I used my special gaming backlog wheel. Hello everybody, and welcome back to a special video. I recently did a video where I spun a magical wheel full of anime, and I had to review whatever anime I landed on. So I decided to do the same thing for video games, buddy. I put 10 video games that I've been wanting to play for many years. Just 10 games that I've really wanted to play for a long time. We're gonna spin it, and then I gotta review whichever one it lands on. So here we go. What's it gonna be? It's It's Halo 2! That's right, the RNG gods and faith. That is what made me play Halo 2. And what a timely and poetic time to play it. I know this video is coming out much later, but I did play this right at the 20th anniversary. 20 years ago, I was 7, and I never even heard of this game. But over the years, its legacy has reverbed into my subconscious. And 8 years after that, I played my first Halo game. And 9 years after that, holy shit, it's been 9 years, I play Halo 2. I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. What the fuck is going on? Why am I still here? Why am I still... Oh yeah, that's right, because I love doing this. Like the video, by the way. If I can do this, make random videos where I talk about a 20-year-old game, then damn right I'm gonna do it. And when I say a dusty old game, it is old. The 6th generation is officially old people retirement home retro games. This being the generation I grew up on, the more nostalgic I get for these aesthetics. The generation that wasn't so low poly I don't even know what I'm looking at, but it's not super polished photorealism bleh. And I'll say this about Halo 2, it's beautiful. I played the majority of this game in its classic mode. I did play this on the Master Chief Collection, which has a single button which upgrades the visuals and the audio and everything. I wish all remakes did this, by the way. That is an amazing feature. But for the sake of seeing this game in its original form, reviewing it, talking about it in its original state, 90% of the time I played in the OG format. I'll be honest, I was so nostalgic for this era of gaming that I didn't even want to play the updated graphics. I wanted the low poly. This took me back to a time when games were muddier and poorly lit. There was no shadows, there was no hair follicles, it was clunkier. And there's something beautiful about that. I did swap to the remaster version a couple times just to see what's going on there. I will say, as far as remixes go, I appreciate having that button. I wish all remakes did this. I will compliment a couple things about the remaster. Most of the levels that were outside in the summer, especially like beach levels or anything with plants, the 6th generation did not have the ability to really grasp what they wanted to do here. But a lot of the remastered levels also felt very samey to me. Not in that they look like each other, but I've probably played 30 games that look like this. It is visually better, but it doesn't have the aura, or dare I say, the vibe of Halo 2 Classic. Again, I don't really remember Halo 1 all that much, but I don't remember the guns being nearly this much fun. You can now dual wield weapons, so now there's a whole other system of constantly picking up a gun. Oh wait, this one's out of ammo. Let me pick up this one. Oh wait, I can dual wield with these 2 weapons. Let me grab both of them. Okay, this enemy I should use a sword, so let me put these down and pick this up. Oh, a sniper rifle? Let me get that. I don't remember doing this at all during Halo 1, so this was very refreshing for me. And every gun feels like the best gun. I constantly pick up a gun and I think, oh my god, this is gonna be my favorite gun. And then I find another gun that's just as good and fun. But nothing beats the energy sword. jumping off of a cliff as Arbiter and pouncing on somebody, it's great. Oh yeah, you can play as a weird fucking lizard guy in this game. Did I mention that? Apparently after Master Chief blew up Halo, the military is glazing him up, medals, sucking his dick. But meanwhile, we are introduced to the Arbiter, an elite who failed his mission in Halo 1 and thus is being shamed and disciplined for the actions in the first game. The symbolism of Chief and Arbiter being two sides of the same coin, it's not subtle. And Arbiter is voiced by Keith David. I know him as Captain Anderson from Mass Effect. I've referenced him as Captain Anderson my entire playthrough. I'm not ashamed of it. And while we're talking about Mass Effect, that is a sci-fi franchise I know like the back of my hand. But I am not a smart human being, and for whatever reason, my brain can only understand so much sci-fi mumbo jumbo at a time, and I think that's the reason why it took for such a long time for me to understand the lore with Halo. Each time I try to play these games, it's like the story went over my head. But not this time. This time I sat myself down and I decided before this playthrough, I'm gonna watch all the Halo lore videos I can get my hands on to try to understand this world before I jump into Halo 2. And I gotta say, 5 minutes into these videos, my brain was dead. I didn't understand a single thing. I couldn't tell you a heretic from a forerunner to a flood, and these videos did not help me. They just threw more mumbo jumbo at me, and my brain spat it out immediately. So I thought, well, we tried. I'm gonna jump into Halo 2, and for whatever reason, my brainwaves agreed this time around. The story for Halo 2 I actually unexpectedly enjoyed. I enjoyed it so much that when I finished the game, I watched the cutscenes again in the remastered version, and my god, if there's one thing I can compliment the remaster for, it's these cutscenes. I'm actually excited to play Halo 3. I didn't think I'd be excited to Halo anything, but here I am, and I'm not saying I'm going to play Halo 3 tomorrow or anything, but hopefully it won't take 9 years like the last time this happened. So that's about all I got, Halo fans. I played Halo 2, I had a good time. That's everything good I have to say. That's my review. That's everything good I have to say about Halo 2. Had a good time. I'm one of you now, and you can click off the video if you're a Halo fan. Are they all gone? Okay, I'm in a safe space. Now we're gonna be negative. I wasn't gaslighting anybody earlier. I did have a good time playing Halo 2, but this game is far from the masterpiece I've heard it described as online. But one of the reasons people say that is because the multiplayer is so amazing, but even though this was around the time the 20th anniversary was, I tried to hop online, I tried to get a game going. Couldn't do it. As a person who likes to return to retro games, it's so annoying when there's live service elements, online elements, and you want to turn back the clock to play this game as it was originally intended, and it's just not possible sometimes. I don't have a lot of friends who are just going to want to jump into a Halo 2 match with me out of the blue, so for the sake of this review, just know the reasons you have these memories, the reason why you think Halo 2 is a masterpiece, I'm just not gonna get that experience in today's age. There's just no way it's gonna hit the same way. As much as I try to turn back the clock and get the honest review out there, it just doesn't exist. But I still love the gameplay for this game. I love the shooty, switching the guns, doing some more shooty, hijacking an enemy in their whip and taking it from them. Love that a lot more than Halo 1. I still feel like sometimes though when I'm shooting it just doesn't have enough impact. Like I feel like I'm shooting bags of sands half the time and they flop over like a Bethesda character when they die, so that's not great. Like I said, I thought the story was much better this time around, but I still feel like I don't think these are iconic characters that I adore like a lot of people do. Like I care for Arbiter and Cortana. A lot of the other characters like the Council, they're just mustache twirling villains. Master Chief still just feels like a soldier in power armor. Not a lot of character there yet. And I want to talk about the music for a second. I had this problem with Halo 1. I think it still exists in Halo 2, where there's a lot of really muddied, loud music playing, and then let's say you step out of combat and you're wandering around, the music will just stop, and it feels like an eternity. You're stuck wandering around, not knowing where to go. There's no music playing. You're just lost, and whenever you find a random enemy, the music will kick back up again. So I know you can just say bad gamer, got lost, but even when I get lost in other games, I'm not stuck wandering around for minutes at a time with no music. The remaster fixes this. The music is so much cleaner and polished. And the ending for this game is just a big cliffhanger for Halo 3, and it's really anticlimactic. God of War 2, Mass Effect 2, fucking Sly Cooper. Plenty of games do this, and just by giving you something to chew on for a finale and a big cliffhanger, it leaves you excited. But with those games, just by giving something to chew on for the finale, just a big cliffhanger shot, it leaves you excited to play what's next, but still gives you a satisfactory conclusion to what you've completed. Halo 2 just felt like a whimper of an ending to me. There was no big revelation or development. It was like the game's story just stopped halfway through and said, alright, time to buy your Xbox 360. But overall, I did have a much better experience with Halo 2. The first Halo game was such a mixed bag. There was so much I didn't like, but there was bouts of fun here and there. Halo 2, start to finish, I can say I had a good time. Some of it hasn't aged well, but a lot of that janky retro stuff is exactly what I wanted at that time, and I loved it. But I want you guys to know something. I'm never gonna have that childhood nostalgia ride that you had with this game. When your brain is a big sponge and absorbs anything and everything, a lot of it is just gonna be awesome, but it's only going to be around for so long. Sure, I was a perfect age to play this game, but I missed the childhood train on this one. But just because I didn't have that nostalgic ride that you had with this game, shouldn't mean anything for you. If anything, it's more awesome that you have this unique experience that I literally can't have anymore. Even if I try, I'm not going to be able to force myself to love this game as naturally as someone who played it back in the day did. Loving art is never going to be something you can force upon yourself. Even if the entire internet collectively thinks something, you just can't force those feelings on yourself. But damn it, if I don't love hearing y'all's story with this game, with Halo. The little twinkle in the eye of my wife when she tells me about how she played this game with her brother, or my friends when they grew up playing these games and how well they know the story and read the books. They fucking love Halo. And I've taken a step in that direction, but for now, I can't say I love Halo. I know somebody's gonna be let down by this, but I'm gonna give Halo 2 a 7 out of 10. But as always, I'm just gonna have to see for myself whenever I get around to playing Halo 3. But until then, I want to thank you guys for watching and sticking around to the end of the video. Those of you who liked the video, leave comments, boast up my tiny channel even a little bit. You guys mean the world to me. If you want to hear more rambly, dumb reviews of things I'm into from video games, anime, or anything on that spectrum, you know where the big red subscribe button is. But until next time, thank you for watching, and until next time, with that, I leave you.